So let's begin seated, and any comfortable seat for you that might be up against a wall, might be on a chair, might be kneeling across your bolster, or taking a cross-legged and sitting up on a bolster as well is always quite nice. Just a place that for the next 10 minutes, you're not going to have to fidget or move anywhere. So make sure that you're comfortable. Let's bring the hands down into the lap. Let's bring Hakini Mudra. So all of the fingers and the thumbs connecting, and then the hands just rest down. So your wrists nicely softening into the creases of your hips and thighs. Let the elbows relax down by the sides of your waist, and let the shoulders soften down the back. And think about what the belly is doing. Is the belly kind of forcing itself forward, or are you tilting the pubic bone forward? And just kind of feel this nice tilt in the pelvic region to get a nice long spine. And then your head, you might like to just gently drop the chin, or you can keep it upright. That's all good. All personal choices. So this is our final yin practice this month to find balance. To find balance between left and right, but also our mind of the parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest, and also our sympathetic nervous system of fight and flight. So just thinking back to the beginning of the month, what may you have learnt, what you have practiced on and off the mat. How have you taken yoga into your daily life this month? Allow yourself time to settle into your space, your chosen surroundings, your familiar sacred mat, and also your familiar body. Checking in with how you feel physically, mentally, and emotionally today, letting go of your day that has been, and letting go of your day that is to come. Yin is a practice to still the mind and the body, never to put ourselves in a place of injury or pain or discomfort, but to find a little bit of edge, a little bit of challenge that we can withstand comfortably. So you make the modifications that you need to for practice today. As I say, some of the postures will have a longer hold. Allow your breath to anchor you into the present moment. We go numb when we want to avoid something. We do this in many ways. We may shut down or lean into a drama to create a false narrative about what is happening. Drama can be a deterrent from feeling and dealing with core issues. Use stillness to create awareness, and then proceed with love and understanding. Take time to learn and grow from these experiences, finding out what the lesson is, and lose the desire to go numb and avoid what you need to face head on. Taking those words into the mind's eye, visualizing those words as your intention for practice, finding stillness, approaching with love and understanding so that we can learn from these experiences. Taking a few moments to enjoy the silence. Taking a nice deep breath in. And exhale through the mouth. Sigh out that breath. Let go of tension, tightness. And then release the mudra. Breathe normally. Just get movement back into the fingers, into the hands, into the wrists. And then release from your seat, just lifting the knees together. And just give yourself a nice little hug here, wrapping yourself around your knees, letting the head drop down to the thighs. Rolling up. And let's come into just cat and cow for a couple of minutes to prepare the spine, because a lot of the work today is forward folds and back bends. Taking the hands in front of you, just a little way ahead of the shoulders, and just moving the hips left and right here to release through the lower back. You might like to circle the hips a few times. That starts to initiate the movement in the spine. And that comes all the way up to the head and the neck. And then once you've done some figure of eights or some circles, just rotating that the other way. Again, this is freedom of movement after sitting for 10 minutes there, and then coming into a nice soft and gentle cat and cow, moving through the spine with your breath. And this is meditation in movement before we come to the stillness. Let's come to our first posture. Swinging the legs around in front of you for our caterpillar. So seated forward fold. Maybe you have the bolster underneath your knees. Maybe you don't. Maybe you have blocks or a bolster to support the head. Now, I'm not going to talk too much through this one. I am going to really give you the silence that you need and might deserve. So this is a 10-minute hold. So don't go too deep too soon. Finding stillness in mind is probably more challenging than finding the stillness in the body. Keeping your focus in the present. Noticing the experiences that the body messages are giving you. As each minute passes, how much more can you relax, release, and let go? Maybe you take a block away. Finding your own edge. And maybe your own edge is just to find stillness in these minutes of our hold. That might be an edge or challenge enough. Maintaining the mind in a meditative state, not letting the mind take you elsewhere. We are almost there. So just taking a few deeper breaths, preparing your mind and body to be able to move slowly. Take a breath in and a slow, deep breath out. Bring the hands by the side of the body. Start to uncurl through the lower spine. Uncurling through the mid-spine. Uncurling through the upper spine, bringing the shoulders back up above the hips, starting to sit tall, and then the head and the neck finally rise. Sit tall there in your staff pose for a moment, feeling the length of your spine. And gently release the legs, taking away any props. 10 minutes. Just release as you need to, maybe just windscreen wiping those knees out to the side. So let's just come back to our tabletop position. Find neutral spine first of all. Again, just start to move the hips left and right. That moves into a little bit of a circle. You start to release through the pelvis, the hips and the lower back, and that then in turn goes into a figure of 8 throughout the entire spine, all the way up to the base of the skull. And then coming back into gentle and soft cat and cow. So do not force the back bend here in your cow, and just round out gently into cat. Just notice how that feels. And let's move ourselves into our supported fish. So if you like, you can use your bolster and then maybe put a blanket or a block at the top there. Or if you want to just prop yourself up just a little bit, you might want to put the 2 blocks underneath so that the bolster's on a little bit of a ramp. And your choice, this is a 10-minute hold, so your choice is legs straight down the mat or knees together, dropping the knees in towards one another, or maybe butterfly. So again, I'll give you the options that you'd like to take for a 10-minute hold in supported fish. So the buttocks are down on the mat, and there's a little bit of a gap between you and the bolster. That's it. And then maybe just nestling that bolster down the central line of the spine and making sure that the head and the neck are nicely supported as well. Again, choosing the appropriate legs that you want to for the 10-minute hold. So just starting to release into the lower back, into the middle back, into the upper back, into the chest, the shoulders. Again, giving in to gravity as the arms just open out to the sides, palms are gently facing up towards the sky. And once more, start to find that stillness of mind, presence of mind, and stillness of body. Receiving the messages of sensations and experiences and feelings as you lie here. And really taking yourself deeper into your parasympathetic nervous system response of rest, digest, and letting go. Maybe you're observing your breathing here, noticing how it may have changed from the first posture we did, which was a forward fold. Observing if your breath is freer, easier, or more challenging to breathe in a back bend than a forward fold. Reminding yourself to breathe equally in and out, long, slow breaths. And remind yourself that sometimes the challenge is just staying still for 10 minutes in one posture. We are almost at the end of our 10-minute hold here. So just start to deepen your breath, preparing the mind and body for movement. And maybe the first movement is movement back into the hands, wiggling fingers, just moving into the wrists. If you had butterfly legs, take the hands to the thighs and lift the legs together. And if your legs were long, just take the feet wide of your mat. Still staying in our supported fish pose. We're just going to come into constructive rest legs. So letting the knees drop in towards the center. And knees are bent. So relax there. Notice how that changes the hips and the pelvis here. And then bring the elbows gently back underneath the shoulders so that you can give them a little press to lift the head and the neck up, to look down the body towards the knees, opening still across the chest, and then roll over to one side, move those props out of the way, roll all the way down onto your backs. So just notice here again, as you come out of the posture, how important the moments of release are. So as you lie flat here in Shavasana, notice how the back feels. Notice how the chest and the head and the neck, maybe the hips if you had the butterfly pose. All of these kind of feelings of the afterglow effect. Notice the different sensations, tingling, maybe numbness or heat. Then gently draw the right and the left knees in towards the chest. Give yourself just a little squeeze here. Squeeze those thighs in, lengthening the tailbone, and then start to mobilize a little bit through the spine. So moving the knees around one way and the other. Maybe opening out the hips if that feels good there, taking the knees a little bit wider, getting into the hip joints. And before we come back up to seated, let's do a little pelvic tilts here, which is our cat and cow. So again, just arching through the spine, rounding. So just your pelvic tilts, as small or as large as they need to be. As if you were doing that cat and cow. And then roll over to one side. Take your time to press yourself back up to seated. How are we doing with these 10-minute holds? Not that bad. Okay, so yes, we have another fold, and this is our wide leg fold. So again, the legs go as wide as is comfortable for you. This might be your wide leg, that's okay. And again, you can use blocks, bolsters, or nothing. Cork blocks are very uncomfortable. I'm hoping that your spongy ones are a little bit more forgiving on the forehead. But as I say, you can use the bolster, and the bolster just goes in front of you on an angle. And again, you can use the block underneath there if you like. So you can prop up the bolster using the block behind it. So it kind of looks like this. So yes, our wide leg is a 10-minute hold. So go into the posture and allow gravity to take you deeper. So this forward fold might challenge you a little bit more than the first one, simply because we are targeting now our inner thighs, inner groin areas. Nothing has to be forced. Notice if you're gripping or holding tightness or tension anywhere in the body, joints, muscles. Try and let that tension release on each exhale.
allowing yourself to go deeper into the posture with the use of gravity. And the use of your exhale breath, letting go even further. Maintaining stillness of mind and body for the last minute here. And let's take a breath in and a long, deep exhale out. Prepare yourself to move very, very slowly, bringing the hands back to support you as you bring the navel back to the spine, uncurling lower back, uncurling middle back, uncurling upper back, and shoulders resting back up in line with the hips, sitting nice and tall once more as the head and the neck uncurl. And then gently take the hands to the knees, lift the legs in towards one another, kick your blocks or your bolsters out of the way, and just give the outside of your knees a squeeze. So push the knees in towards one another. And just take the hands back behind you. Just gently lift the chest. Maybe the fingertips face forward or to the sides, but just a gentle little back bend there. Again, lifting out of the lower back, opening across the chest. Nice. And then let's bring ourselves back into center. Coming back down onto our backs for supported bridge or pontoon. I will give you the option there. This is not a 10-minute hold. This will be about a 3 or a 4. So if you're using your bolster, or you can use a block, you're going to get your hips up on top, lying back down, and then the buttocks kind of hang off of the back end of there. So just find your supported bridge. First of all, allow the hips to drop down quite heavy, because before we go into a pontoon, I just want you to start to release through the lower back. If you like, arms can be by the side of the hips, or they may be in cactus. So cactus arms, you're spreading your shoulder blades apart from one another, and the arms are at a 90-degree bend, and the backs of the hands down behind the head. So drop down into your bolster or your block. If you wish to here, you can straighten the legs, go into pontoon. As I say, this is not a 10-minute hold. So you can straighten the legs and you can start to drop into the abdominals, drop into the belly, the hips, the pelvis here. If it feels too deep at any point, bring the feet back to your supported bridge. And here, just on this shorter hold, notice the sensations as they come up from the lower body, all the way up into the upper body, and up into the head. If you had the legs straight, bring the right and the left back. Return back into supported bridge to realign yourself. Bring the hands back from cactus by the side of the body and just pause there for a moment, spreading shoulder blades out, making sure that the neck is nicely aligned. Drop down deeper through the buttocks and the pelvis and the lower back here. And then gently lifting right knee and left, keeping the back still connected to the bolster. Just squeeze those thighs in. So the hips are slightly lifted here in that knees to chest. Means that the knees might come a little bit closer towards the shoulders and the chin. Nice and slowly release the knees to chest. Place the soles of the feet back down. Lift up the hips, slide away your prop. And take your time to roll down through the spine. Each and every vertebra, if you can. Try not to miss any of those out as you lower down. You might be feeling something there in the lower back or in the hips. And then again, just extend the legs. Take the arms up into a big star shape. So legs slightly wider than your mat, arms outside of your mat, and just wiggle the hips. Give the pelvis a shake. That in turn gives the buttocks a nice little massage underneath you. And that in turn gives the thighs, the calves, the ankles, and the feet a big shake. That's it. And then let's roll over and come back up to seated. Okay, so just a couple of more postures. These are not long holds now because we do them on right and left. So the first one is your deer pose. So we're making a little square with our legs and we are twisting towards our bolster, starting to bring the belly over and the head as well.
So you're resting on, so I've got my right leg in front and I'm going to rest on my right ear. That's it. So legs are both bent. That's it. That's it. Yes. Lovely. And just drape the body over your bolster. Give it a hug as well. So this is a slight twist through the spine. We're releasing out that right buttock underneath us. Again, give into gravity as you hug and hold the bolster. If you wish to go deeper into this posture, you can take the bolster away, of course, and just drape yourself on the floor. Take a breath in and a slow, long breath out. Prepare yourself to move by releasing the hands by the side of the bolster. Press yourself up nice and slowly. And as you come back up, we just simply release the back leg and change sides. Take the bolster with you. And we've got this little square in the front here, so both legs are bent, almost like you're in a deer shape or deer legs. And then again, twisting gently, getting the belly over that left thigh this time, and supporting your left cheek with the bolster. Softening it out in the underneath hip and buttock. And this is the first posture that we've actually done on right and left. So just notice any differences. Does one feel the same or different to the other?
And if you're wishing to deepen this twist in the deer pose, then you can release yourself away from the bolster and just straight to the floor. Taking a breath in. And a long, slow, deep, forgiving breath out. Start to uncurl, lifting the head, placing the hands down by the side of the bolster, pressing yourself back up to seated. Move that bolster out of the way, and we're going to lie down onto our belly. So spin the legs back around you. Head comes to the back of the hands. Just bring the big toes to touch here. Let go of the belly. Let go of the weight of the spine. Soften through the hips, the pelvis, and the buttocks here. Give the whole body weight into the floor. Now start to sway the hips gently from side to side, giving a little bit of a rock. Widening the feet out to maybe as wide as your mat. Hands come out to the top corners of your mat. We're just going to press up 3 times into seal. So pressing up. Don't have to come too high. Arms don't have to be straight. They can all be in front of you here if they like. Press up once more into seal. Lower down. Last time. Come up into seal. Stay and hold just for 1 minute. Dropping pubic bone. Pelvis is heavy. Shoulders are away from the ears. Doing great. And lower it down. Head to the back of the hands. Once more, big toes touch. And just find that complete release, letting go there in prone. And if you're in a position where you can flip yourself over onto your back from there, you don't need to see the screen. We are moving into Shavasana now. So making sure that you come into your Shavasana with as little movement or as effort as possible. But also finding blankets and props that you need to keep warm and comfortable. And what I might suggest is placing the bolster underneath your knees, taking the knees as wide as your bolster, letting the feet and the heels drop down.
And then making sure that you can just release through the hips and the pelvis, give them a little shimmy and a shake from side to side. Arms out to the side as you spread the shoulder blades apart and just release through the head and the neck. And as you find your relaxation posture of Shavasana, softening down into the mat, letting go of any effort, finding a steadiness, an easy breath, breathing in and out through the nostrils. And finding that presence and stillness as we move into our relaxation. And I will let you have this as complete silence and let you know when it's time to come back around.
Beginning to take a few deeper breaths as you bring your awareness back into your surroundings, back onto your mat and back into the body. Bringing soft and gentle movement to the hands and to the feet. And always taking time to come out of your Shavasana as if it was the morning and you'd had a very restful sleep. Doing what you need to awaken the body and taking your time to return up to a comfortable seat, bringing the hands together at the heart center, Anjali Mudra, sitting tall. And just take it all in as you sit here. Notice sensations within the body, within the mind after a practice with some longer holds. How was your approach to those holds? How was the mind? Was the mind settled? Was the body still? And sometimes these moments of challenge, we want to give in, we want to give up, but sticking with it, having the faith, again, finding that love and understanding, just as we would do off of our mats. So remind yourself of your own intention for practice today and how you can take that with you into your daily life. Always thanking your amazing body and yourselves. And I thank you. Namaste.